Today's guest is someone who doesn't just talk about resilience, he's lived it. Erin is the Chief Product Officer at REVIV Global, a global wellness company offering IV therapy, DNA-based health insights, and tech-led solutions in preventative healthcare. But before that, he was a soldier, a founder, and a survivor. Raised around heroin addiction and homelessness, Erin joined the British Army at 16. Served in Afghanistan by 18, he went on to build Revel, the Uber for lorries, scaling it to 40,000 drivers, 20% of the UK market. Today he's helping transform global health through data, tech, and deep understanding of what it means to be yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. This episode is raw, unapologetic, and powerful. Let's get into it. This episode of the GHH podcast is brought to you by My Workplace Wellness. First of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Really glad to be here.
Thank you. King of the Lost.
Yeah, you could say that.
What does that mean to you now, looking back?
I mean, we spoke about it when I was on a call. I think as we talk through this, being King of the Lost is like a self-proclaimed title, definitely. Mm-hmm. And I say that because the amount of things that I've lost in my life are things that people shouldn't lose. Things that you won't be able to lose in your life, things that people that I interact with, they don't understand what that means. I think being King of the Lost for me is I'm so comfortable with the things I've lost now, and I take a lot of power from it. So being that person for someone else and being able to say, well, I feel bad about myself, or these things aren't the way that I wanted to be, and I feel a bit lost, is if we would sit down, I can show you how far what loss looks like. And I think, yeah, by saying that about myself is that what I'm trying to actually say is that I'm happy to set myself on fire to point someone else, give someone else some direction. If I have to put myself on fire to give someone else a bit of light to get out of lost, I'm happy to do that. And part of that is what we're doing today. So, yeah, I think it is to me, it's taking power from all the things that are lost in my life that I can help someone not, I guess.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. If I can help someone avoid the things that have happened to me, and I can help someone avoid feeling the way I feel, it's the only good thing you can do with that. I can't undo the bad things that have happened to me, and it also wasn't my choice that they happened. But what I can do is say, I'm comfortable to wander around in the dark, and that parts of me are still very, very lost, and that's not going to change. There's parts of me that I can work on, but if I can wander around in the dark and I bump into another guy that's a bit lost, and I can point him in the right direction and say that's the way out. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to get there, but if that's the way out for someone else, I think that's a noble thing to do.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah, we can go there.
Childhood.
Yeah. Childhood for me was my childhood was pretty much stolen from us from a very young age. I was abused physically and mentally, like very visibly violent. I had a very visibly violent childhood from the age of about 6 onwards. My mum's a heroin addict, still is today, which is a crazy thing to say out loud, but that's her own decision.
But you know the funniest thing? There's power in being able to say that. You know that, right?
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't ask. I'm her child, not the other way around. I'm not her. She's not. I can't. She was making these decisions before she had me. She made these decisions while she had me. So my mum was abusing drugs when I was in the womb. She was abusing drugs when I was a little kid. And then, yeah, when I was a young kid, and I was getting quite openly abused. Like you could see, like I'd come to school and like I had black eyes and my hands were all messed up and like marks on my body. And then, yeah, that happened for quite a long period of my life.
As a kid, was you aware that this was wrong?
I definitely knew that. Yeah, I guess when I was, you would see how other people and how other families were, and how like my mum didn't used to. I used to have to do the do you know all the after school clubs that kids would go to? The school enforced that I went to all of them because my mum wouldn't come pick me up. And
from a young age.
Yeah, from 6, I went to. Every day I had to go to the before and after school club because they had to make sure that I was eating because I wasn't getting fed. And I kind of knew that wasn't right, but also like as a little kid, like you can't understand why that's not happening. Like I didn't know. Like I was always like, what can I do more to make my mum stop hitting me? And I said this. I've said this before. Like I didn't even got to a point in my life where I didn't care that my mum didn't love me. I just wanted her to like me. I just wanted it to stop. So you would sacrifice yourself as a kid only knows how to change its behavior. Mm-hmm. A little boy, a little girl will only think about what they could do more for their, what they can change about themselves, because they don't know how to say that, well, actually, there's not something wrong with me, there's something wrong with them. So there's a lot of blame as a kid, and I didn't take up much space. I was very quiet. And I definitely know. Definitely. It's just what could you do about it at that age?
And then we're talking throughout childhood till about what, 15?
Yeah, so I had, obviously people come from like split families where you have like separate mum and dads, and that's usually like that's.
Did you have your dad at home or no?
No, my dad left when I was a kid, and then he left when I was like 1 or 2, and then he came back into my life. Well, he was forced back into my life when I was 9. So my mum, when I was 9, got sent to rehab for a drug addiction. My mum did something, my mum did something really terrible, and something that is almost unspeakable to both me and my brother, and herself. And my mum was arrested and taken taken by the police out in front of me into rehab, and she went to rehab for 3 years. But then I remember being sat there, and I had like a room bigger than this, like just full of policemen, full. Like I'm talking, there's like riot police. There's police like all, you know, like you get different kinds of police. You get like the normal on the job police, then you get like, this is a bit more serious police, and then you get, this police is like real serious, and they're all like in their black. I had all of these like around. There was like ambulance drivers there, and I remember being sat and like I felt like the focal point of the room, and I was just like looking around, and they were like, "We don't know what to do with you. Like, no, it's not because you're a bad kid. You've got a very absent father. You don't have any other relations that want to take, like, are in your life enough. And now your mum is going to go to rehab for the next 3 to 5 years. My mum's a paranoid schizophrenic, drug-induced. There's a lot of, like, very serious mental illness.
When you say drug-induced, sorry to cut you. When you say drug-induced, that's because of the drugs.
My mum just pounded drugs so hard, that she just fried her brain. My mum was an incredibly smart woman. Really, really, really smart. And
do you think you know what got her there?
I have no idea. And this is something that, like, do you know when we just talked about being king of the lost? I don't know where I come from. But like, I know like the location. I have one picture of me as a child. Nothing.
At what age?
1, 2. I have nothing else. I have no videos. I have no stories. I have no one that's known me my whole life. I have no location. Like I have no bar physical location of going, I lived here for a little bit, I lived there for a little bit. My mum moved me around 12 times when I was a kid. So I have no set of group friends. So no one knows me from like, oh, I knew you when you was like this, or I knew you when you was like that. All I've got is police records and school reports. I have nothing else. And because one part of me that's like tries to protect myself is like, I can't remember like super loads, because it's like, I had to imagine a very different life for myself. I had to imagine that this is a safe environment for me to grow up in. I had to imagine that I'm liked at my home. I had to imagine all these things. I don't know what started it. I don't know when it would end, because she still doesn't know. Like, and I think that's one thing that I try to take when I talk on podcasts and I talk to people is, I think a lot of people like come to their journey like, oh, my journey's over, and this is what I'm reviewing it as it's happening. This is something that's still happening right now, and I don't talk to her. I can't talk to her because it sends me like I can't handle.
Dark place.
Yeah, but I pay for her care. She doesn't realise because she thinks it's the council. Yeah, so she thinks the council clean the house. It's not. It's me. But I can't go any further past that. So no, I don't know what it is.
So you said about what? So it was 9 that she went into
rehab,
and then you went with your dad.
Went with my dad, and my dad I've really strong feelings on that. Like, yeah, my dad was not ready to be a father, and I kind of swear on this podcast.
Minimal, but yeah.
Flipping hate him for it. imagine I came from like a place where I was like, this is so bad. And my father always also knew that my mum was a drug addict. He knew all these things.
Was he?
No, he's just a prick.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So my father knew that I'd come from all this like crazy stuff, and he knew that I had all this, and he took over as a dad, but he just wasn't ready to be. And I lived with my father till I was from 9 to 15. Me and him again had another physical altercation. I have had more fights with my family members, my mother and my father, than I have anywhere else in my life. I've had more physical altercations with both of them as parents than anywhere else. And then at 15, my dad made me homeless. We had a fight, threw him out of the house, and I lived on the streets for 8 weeks. Yeah, and like we were saying, like I was robbing my friends' houses, but not for money, which was, no.
Which I will never fathom.
Yeah, I know.
What was you robbing their houses for?
Food. I wasn't a very good thief, put it that way. Like I was taking
Like,
blankets of, yeah. And
you took blanket? Oh, you was getting it. You was doing.
I was getting into my feeding lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
I was starting to think about what I was taking. No, yeah. So I lived in the skate park in my town, in my village, and I just didn't want to. I knew one thing about like if someone does so many bad things to you and they keep doing it, you learn that like the impact that like I learned the impact that someone else is having on me. And I was like, I really don't want that to be on someone else. I don't know if someone else has money troubles. I don't know if someone else has this going on or that going on. So I just tried to minimize what I'd need. And I didn't need money because I had nowhere to go. Stealing £10 here and £10 there isn't going to get me off the streets.
What kind of food was you taking? It sounds like a mad question, but what food was you taking?
Anything that I couldn't, anything that's untinned. So like, but like all my friends, I lived on a lot of farmland. So like, no one's like locks their doors. So you go and like make a sandwich. Like,
you made a sandwich?
Yes, loads of times. Did
you take a plate?
No. I should have no, but
didn't even take a plate.
No, I just make a sandwich on the kitchen
side.
Like make a sandwich on the kitchen side.
So you left mess?
No, I'll tell you wouldn't because you got to think I know where everyone's going because I know you're a farmer, right? If you're a farmer, you're going to get up at 6 a.m. and go farm your fields, and you ain't coming back for ages. And I also know your children, your son.
Did you sit on the sofa and eat a sandwich?
No, I just walk outside, walk around with it. But then like sometimes I'd walk past the person that I'd just made a sandwich in the house. Genuinely, I'd done it like, but then and then I'd steal from the local shop as well, and I think they knew I was stealing. Like, because I looked like...
But did you look rough? Did you look like a homeless kid?
Yeah. You could tell, yeah. Because you don't sleep. Like, and being homeless, like, and I always talk to all the homeless people that I meet. I'm always polite to them. Being homeless is sometimes like you fall out the bottom of society because like you're looked at in a very, very different way. There was no reason. I'd done nothing in the world at this point.
Remember, you're a kid.
I'm a kid. I have made no conscious decision of like drug abuse. I've made no conscious decision of drink. I haven't, and then I'm forced into an environment where now, like all these bad things are happening to me, not because of me. And like you can't. And when you look back at it, you can't. There is nothing a 15-year-old that your as a child should be able to do, bar extreme violence or something like illegal that would say I don't want to have a relationship with this person. So yeah, you could tell. Yeah, really bad. And then the school, because I had like 8 weeks out of school, the school kind of kicked in and was like, what's going on with you?
Oh, so you wasn't going to school?
No. I was like intermittently, on and off.
And then getting taken in by your friend's
Oh my God.
mum, was it?
Yeah, so her name's Helen. I love her.
God bless Helen.
God bless Helen. More honestly,
God bless Helen.
God, yes. I love you very much. She is... It's just like this is the only thing that probably in the world like really can Helen is. So my friends, like about 6 different sets of people took me in, and then some of them were like, we aren't going to take you in forever, but we are going to get you through school. And then at the end of that, when I got to the end of school, my friend Sam was my best friend and like my brother now.
You didn't rob Sam's house, did you?
Huh?
No,
I didn't rob Sam's house.
No, Sam's all right.
No,
All right,
Sam,
cool.
it lived too far away. I couldn't get there. It would cost me too much to go and rob it. So I was like, he was like, do you want to come live with me? And I was like 16 now. I'd just finished school. And I remember when I was finishing school, I was like, I was very absent at school. I didn't really apply myself. And then I don't say that as like a bullshit story. Sorry, I don't say that as a bad story, but I didn't really apply myself. But once this all happened, I was like, I have to apply myself now because I have to now pick this up. There's one person that is dependent on me, and it's me. I have to be there for myself. No one's going to help me now. So you really have to change into like a different gear. And I was like, right, I need to go. And then Helen just stepped into my life and was like, you can come live with us. And I've lived with her, and she has acted as my mum since I was 16. She was there when I went to the army. She was there when I went to Afghanistan. She was there when I got home. And she tells people that she has 3 kids. She doesn't, she has 2, but she says I'm the 3rd, but I just don't come from her.
God bless Helen.
Helen is, all the bad things that have happened in my life are absolutely nothing compared to how good that woman is. You know? And I like that, that's like a blessing of, I've experienced things that no one else should, but I've also experienced things that no one else can like fathom about. Imagine you step so far out of your own life just to help someone that you don't know, and take them in and treat them as a child and guide them and do all these nice things. So yeah, she's amazing.
Then what made the idea of the army come in?
I was a financial impact on something like taking in a kid. I'm a 15-year-old growing boy is a hungry like thing to have in your house. You've got new clothes to think about.
So you're being clothed, you're being fed, you're being
everything. Yeah, I turned up with like a bin bag. I turned up with a bin bag of clothes. You got to think the first 15 years of my life were extremely violent. Half my face is fractured. Both my hands were broken by my parents. All my I can't straighten my fingers out. If you do that to someone and you keep doing it, you don't get a good person that comes out the other end. You just
She's a damaged kid.
Extremely. I'm still damaged now from it. And you're extremely angry. And I was like, and I also realized that there's a financial impact of who I am, and there's like an emotional impact, an emotional burden on someone else's family. So I was like,
Did you realize that?
Yeah, I realized that. I realized that because I had to. I realized that because from 15 onwards, I sat and I remember being when I was homeless, I laid on the skate park floor, and I remember looking up and thinking, there is no one in this world now that's ever going to come back for us. That is me out. 0. And like when you reach true 0, and people talk about rock bottom, and rock bottom for everyone else will feel different. I can tell you that it's not. Where you have no money, you have no one in your life, no one knows you, because no one's known you for long enough to actually say, I know this person. And both the people that said they love you are going to stay by you, right? I'm flat 0. So yeah, I realized that and was like, I need to go somewhere where I can go be angry, and I can go and be reshaped and redisciplined and get all this out. And the army is phenomenal for that. It's what they're good at. It's what they're known for. So yeah, it's the best job ever.
You said you loved war because it stripped back everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
you hold on? You said you love war because it stripped everything back to. Yeah.
No.
Can you operate? Why did that resonate with you so much?
When you go, so I went to Afghanistan when I was like 19, and I served with some amazing people. And the one thing we said about this is I will talk about Afghanistan as a stage of my life, but not my individual stories of it, because we've got loads to talk about today. And there's people in there that's their main focus of their life. But one thing about going to Afghanistan and going to war is that it strips. There's no such thing as how many likes did I get on Instagram? What does this person think of me? Did I say that right? Am I wearing the right outfit? Do I look nice? I was laying on the floor. You sleep in like, depend where you are. There's different levels of like accommodation, but you're sleeping like rough again. You stink most of the time. You're doing like 20 or 30 hour operations. Like you're out and about. You're carrying loads of stuff around, and then you don't have any phone. You get half an hour to call home. You're not polluted by any other stuff, and the only thing it boils down to is, am I more trained than the thing that's about to happen to me? And can I operate and remember the things and do the things that I've been trained to do? And that is the flat baseline of everything is, can I do the thing that's been asked of me, and can I do it well? And can I repeatedly do that and get the outcome that we're all trying to achieve for, that no one gets hurt, everyone comes home? And that it resonated so hard with me, because if you can strip everything back and just look at yourself on that term value, and that's a great building block to be like, well, then on top of that, you can add the smaller ones.
You think that reset your mindset?
It certainly put things into perspective. You can't stress me out. No one can stress me out. If you get, like, you go to war, that's a very different thing. You get shot at, this bomb's potentially going off. What? I get shouted at a little bit. That's...
What's that?
What are you talking about? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like this master reset of being able to say, I can look at a perspective of something that's so... It's an extreme version of it, right? But it helps you not get stressed. It's very unfair advantage is what I call it.
Brotherhood, though. Did you build any like brotherhood out there, or was it not
yes.
really?
I've got. It's like you can't. The friends you make in the army, the friends you make in any military force, are so completely different, right? Like in how they act, in what works for them. I could call them up right now and they will go anywhere I ask them to do and do anything I ask them to do with absolutely no reason. And that friendship is something that I miss so much. And it's like one of the most undervalued things in the military is like, because you're going through such a bad time with each other, being positive in the face of adversity, like being sat, it's like you're in the middle of a forest, it's a Saturday night, everyone else you know is out, it's raining, and you're pretending to be you're a professional bush, because that's what you are in the army, right? I've sat in forests pretending to be a bush for months and months of my life because I'm hidden, right? Because that's what they are. You got to think, we're all creamed up, we're hiding, so you're a professional tree or you're a professional bush. When you this brotherhood and all this stuff that comes out of it is because you're bonded by all of these bad times in a string. And then going, the only thing I can do about this bad time, and this is one of the core factors of me, is the only thing I can do about a bad time is try to find some good in it and try to make a good outcome, because the bad time isn't going to change that. So yeah, that brotherhood, it's real and it does exist, and it is, it's so valuable. It's so good.
What I want to know is, how did you go to that, from that, shall I say, to Avail?
Okay, so came out of the army, I was medically discharged, came out of the army, I was 22 at the point, and I was like, what am I going to do in my life now? I was like, I'm going to go get a degree. Everyone else who's a civilian, all the people that I think, they all have degrees, let's go do that. So I went to go get a degree, and I did night university, like at Plymouth. But I was like, I need some money, but I want a job where I don't have to think about too many things.
What was you studying?
Business management. So I was like, right, I want a building block that can go to different ways. I went, right, I'll go do business management, but then what also I'll do is I'll be a lorry driver, because I was like, I can listen to all of my lectures whilst I drive, and then when I stop, because I'm on my own, when I stop, I'll just write down all the things, because I have to stop every 3 hours or whatever, 45 minutes, write down all the things, and then when I stop at night, I'll write up my thesis and go to bed. Because then I was just in this wheel of just operating. So Avail is the largest UK lorry driving app it's ever been made. It's like it's huge. It was at its biggest. We had so the lorry driving at the industry was about 300,000 people. We had about 35,000, which means every 10 lorry drivers has my app. 1 in 10 worked, like would have worked, potentially could have worked for us. So it's massive. But the way I made that was I became a lorry driver and I was studying business management, and I realized that there was a problem with it. And I was like, there's just this gaping hole. So Avail is Uber for lorries. That's exactly what it does. It's basically a blueprint of Uber. It was a good idea, and it's got some changes, but that's what it works like. And at its peak, 35,000 lorry drivers. I was 22 years old. I raised £1.2 million, the earliest ever stage from this VC. I had a piece of paper. I had nothing but myself and a piece of paper.
No detailed business plan.
Oh no, we had a serious business plan. Me and my business partner Callum, we had a serious business plan. But we were so early. We were so early on that we had no other proof than we just think this is a good idea.
Okay.
And at 22 years old, raised the most amount of money they've ever done at that stage, 1.2 million, and then just went for it. And that thing just grew and grew and grew. And that was my first. That took I was there for like 4 or 5 years. But it was like my real foundation of, I had a really, really great board of directors that were very patient with me. That one of them was like one of the leading like technologists in the country, and part of his job was to teach me once a month about how to run a tech business, and he did an incredible job. But when I mean they were so harsh on me, and I was paying them as well, and they were like, I never won or a discussion point that I ever thought I was going to win because they were so far ahead of us. So it was like an accelerated learning period. I learned more in them years than I'd ever would at uni. And Avail just kind of took off, and it just exploded in my hands, really. It's crazy.
You said as well that making money became like keeping score.
Yeah, there's a point, yeah.
When did that stop being enough?
I don't think it has. All I'm saying is like there is a certain point in your life where you can make X amount of money, where after that your life doesn't change. There's like a bracketed.
What do you think that is?
I think there's a couple. First, like, and everyone does talk about it. The first well, if you start to get over £10,000 a month, that's the first bracket. Then after that, so Avail's not the only business I've exited. I've exited 4 other businesses. I've made 4 other businesses and exited them with a cumulative value of X M's. What that looks like in actual fact is, do I have all that money? No. A lot of the taxmans took most of it. Does that change your life a lot? Yeah, to a point. I think 10,000 a month is the first, and then I think probably about 40 or 50,000. And I don't afford 40 or 50,000 pounds a month, by the way. I just have some healthy stores I've sold a few businesses, and that's okay. When it starts keeping score, I would say probably after your first million. And that's like, when I say I don't have a liquid million, first off, but in terms of what's been on paper and what's come through, that's when you go, one of the wealthiest men I've ever met and one of the sharpest salesmen I've ever met, who's a millionaire, was like, once it starts, it's only a way to keep score. Once you get past this point, it's less meaningful. And once I got past that point, I realized how it's more about what action and outcome you're giving to someone else rather than what you're doing for yourself. Becomes more
what you're doing, exactly what you said.
Yeah. What you're doing rather than what you're doing for yourself. And like he was one of my mentors. He's an incredible guy. I hated him at the time because he was so harsh on me. But he was like, yeah, this is don't worry too much about it. And what he's actually trying to say to me is focus more on what you're doing, because that will actually get you more than what you're doing for yourself. Focus more on your user or your client.
How did Revive then come into your life?
So I exited Avail and was like, I won Tech of the Year twice in a row. So I won it 2020 and then won it again in 2021. Yeah, it's the only person to do it. So which is a nice accolade, and back-to-back Tech of the Year. But they was like, you can't enter again. There's like,
why?
It'll look rigged.
Probably was rigged. No,
maybe it was.
No.
Maybe it was. No.
But what we haven't addressed actually is why I'm sitting here with this in my arm.
You are, yeah. So this is where we come to Revive. So yeah, well, I'll tell you how I got there. Won Tech of the Year twice. Sponsored by I got featured by Microsoft, and then job roles started to kind of roll in. And then I did some consulting and did some other little bits, and then I met Sarah, our CEO. I met her in a shop actually, and she was on the phone. She was on the phone, and she was asked about a problem, and I kind of knew some of her family members around them, and she was like, "I've got this problem." She's really friendly. And I was kind of eavesdropping a little bit. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, you're Erin." I was like, "Yeah, nice to meet you." And then she was like, "I've got this problem." And I was like rolling it around in my head. And I sent her an email a few days later and was like, "This is how I'd address the problem." And then she did it. She with whatever team she was in. And she was like, "I'd really like to have a chat with you."
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, Can you come round? Like, I want to have a chat. And Sarah is an extremely smart woman. And I was like, "Oh, yeah. I'll go around, like I'll just see what's potentially what she's kind of thinking." And she gave me more and more complex problems in the room when I was chatting to her, and I was like, wow, like coming out with these answers. And then she was basically like, "I want to give this how do you feel about like coming over to Revive and giving this a trial?" And I hadn't said yes to any full-time like roles in a long time, because I didn't believe in either the founder, or I didn't believe in the mission, didn't believe in what they were doing. So for me to take a leap, because I've worked for myself, you got to think from the last like 7-8 years of my life, I've either consulted or worked for myself, because it benefits me loads more. I decide everything I want to do. And I believed so much in what Sarah's mission was and her vision, because her vision wasn't, even when she hired me, her vision wasn't, she wasn't even looking like in the next 2 years. She was looking in the next 5 or 10. So it's like, it's quite abstract to be able to get yourself to go, well, what the business looks like now and what you're currently doing versus what it's going to be. So I was like, yeah, I'll come on board. And I've been there 2.5 years. But what you're doing now is one of our Mega Boost treatments, which is one of our IVs, one of our signature IVs. I know our lovely Danny here has been explaining to you all the good stuff that this does for you. But yeah, this is one of Revive's core modality. And yeah, it's preventative healthcare. Revive is essentially an IV business. We are the world's largest IV business, 106 clinics, four continents of the world. We are everywhere. More than likely, if you're going to get an IV, it's either been inspired by Revive. We've either, one, probably made the formulation, or someone has looked at what we've done and has been inspired by it and started their own spin out.
What do you think is the real difference? You mentioned the word preventative health.
Yeah, so
the difference between health and preventative healthcare.
Preventive healthcare is, so preventive healthcare is essentially, if me and you were on a boat and we were walking around it and it looked a bit rusty, or there was parts of it, and we went to have a look and we'd set out to sail, you wouldn't start trying to fix the boat if it started to sink. You'd fix it before we sent it, right? Preventive healthcare is you fix the problem before it arises. There's a better way of looking after yourself, and that's doing the correct things before the bad things happen. You don't wait until, well, you can. You want to have lifestyle impact before you have to have like real lifestyle change, where you're like, I am super duper poorly now, or something bad is like, I've got really, like, I've made my diabetes loads worse because I've had loads of sugar. Preventive healthcare is before you have a root cause problem, is keeping yourself away from the problem entirely. And Revive is so initially Revive starts as an IV company, which is one piece of preventive healthcare, and I'm very aware of that. And it is a very, very good piece of preventive healthcare, but it's very much like the gym. You have to be consistent with it. You have to stick and repeat, otherwise you won't get the benefit from it. And we do everything from like some of our signature stuff, which will help you, like, I don't know, if you're fighting off a cold and all this stuff, all the medical stuff that happens there, all the way to like NAD Plus, which is anti-aging stuff, which is crazy. Like insane. Like some of the stuff it does for your body is crazy. But preventive healthcare is a section of things. It's a group of stuff that you should do. And maybe that's preventative healthcare in terms of go to the gym properly stretching is preventative healthcare. You're preventing yourself from an injury. If me and you went to the gym now and I was like, right, we're going to do max lift straight off the bat, you're going to sort a problem, right? And the way I try to explain it to people is, you've probably very often heard that your body is the most complex and most brilliant machine on earth. There's trillions and trillions of things that happen in your body, well more than the biggest supercomputer on earth. How many times is your phone frozen? How many times is your laptop frozen, right? All these other things that are happening in your body that you are not, these micro, like, kind of warning signs that you aren't, because they aren't getting brought all the way to the surface yet, they are still happening. Preventive healthcare is to ensure that you're doing the right things at the right time to stop these things and help these systems and in these flows within your body work in the right way. And maybe some of this is IV. That's definitely one of the things. Another thing that we'll talk about is precision nutrition. So it's another thing that we offer the world's most precise gene test. So which is like, to address a problem or to address your health, you first need to understand it fully, right? And to say that there is 23,000 different things that we look at inside of, and we'll give you back a book. It's like this big. You take it to your doctor and go, that is who I am. They'll be like, yeah, cool, we can work with that. But that's the first piece of saying, well, these are all the things, this is how my body operates. These are the things that I need to do for my body. It's your Bible to the things that work for you.
And what's this, within a blood test or?
So this is a swab in your mouth. So it's you swab into your mouth, you send it to our lab in Nova Virginia. We got some crazy smart doctors. Brilliant guy called Daniel, who's invented this, and then he will go through all this stuff where he's got algorithms and stuff that go through it, and then we send that back to you, and then what we do is create a precision nutrition plan, which is like when we go to like a gym and they say, hey, you need to get like 50 grams of protein. We've got like packets of precision nutrition stuff, which is like made for you, which is like 0.06% sulfur, and it's all of the stuff that you're genetically missing. It says, hey, take that. Don't worry about the supplements, just take that. You just have this tube of them a day. And then we'll do what you're having now, but you get a precision IV, which is even better. It's a further piece of that preventive healthcare. What we do now at Revive is we take IV as preventive healthcare is one pillar of what we do. We partner with another company called 10X who do precision nutrition stuff with us, which is another piece of preventive healthcare. My job and the technology underneath that is essentially we've made a decision engine, an incredibly smart decision engine, has some AI and stuff in it. It's not like it's created its baseline of being able to predict and to work for each individual user about what's best for them as a therapeutic input and output. So say, for example, like you need better sleep.
Yeah.
Or you need more restfulness, or you need X, Y, and Z. You put that into our algorithms, our engine. Essentially what it does is it looks through all the precision healthcare data. It will look through all the precision healthcare data stuff that you've given us, looks through all that and what it knows about you, looks about what therapeutic outcomes you could be looking to achieve.
Selling time, that's it. Revive basically is seen as selling time, right?
Yeah, so that's what I talk about is the baseline of the things that we do. The baseline of my work is to give time back. And this is one of the things that when you say, why did you come onto the mission of Revive? What brought you to it is because in my life, a lot of my time was robbed from me. My childhood was robbed from me. 15 years of my life was taken. And I think that when I look at it, and I look at myself about why I'm so energized about this and why I'm so passionate about it is because if I can help people extend their life, I think that's a noble and worthy cause to be like, hey, I can do nice things for someone else. When we talk about Revive, when I say you can't buy time, and I disagree, you can buy time. You can buy time with knowledge about what's good for my body and what's not, with intervention early, and saying, actually, I am going to make sure I stick to my IV plan. I am going to make sure I do my precision nutrition. I am going to make sure that I'm going to the gym. All these things, my job and what I'm trying to get to the world is, if I can help you have an extra birthday with your daughter, if I can help you have an easier walk to the shop, and our technology is the baseline of all of that information that you need to be able to go and do that.
And what age are we meant to be starting from?
It's right away. And I don't mean that in terms of like, you should.
So you have to be 18 plus, or can you be younger, or what kind of age roughly?
18 plus. Right, so you have to be 18 plus. But, so the way I look at it is we've spoken about, the way I look at it is health is the baseline. We have me and you are, we say we never met and we was in the street together. Me and you have one commonality is that you are equally as interested in your health as I am equally interested in mine.
But no.
So,
I believe that and I agree with that. And the only reason I'll say I agree with it, because I wasn't interested in my health until I got sick.
Yes, I heard this earlier. Yeah, and now you're super interested in it.
There you go. And I think that's the problem with people, though.
Yeah.
Like, preventative health, I'm passionate about now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it took for me to get sick.
Wow.
I think a lot of people don't until they get sick. Like, so we're saying, all right, I want an IV drip. A lot of people do that. There's the hangover one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, people are looking at it for like, oh, I'm hanging. Let me get that drip. You're not actually taking it to the level that they should.
Yeah.
And this is the whole point of my podcast, really, to give people a lot of information about health, about what they need to be looking at.
Yeah.
And these kind of things. How do you think, well, not even how do you think, how is Revive pushing that in a bigger way and making people wake up earlier?
We try to do that through like early stage education about like the things. All of our IVs are scientifically backed, so we test all of them to make sure the actual outcome is real. We're not just if you're looking for stuff like this, and like if we can help guide someone onto like going, hey, this is the like you've just said, it's the perfect kind of situation that people find themselves in. Is you are interested after something bad's happened. Be interested before. Yeah. Like don't like be interested before. if you start having a bit of a wobbly wheel as you was driving down the motorway, you won't wait until your wheel fell off. You know what I mean? So when we talk about Revive and we talk about what we're trying to do is we are trying to create an ecosystem of, well, we're creating an ecosystem of all of the preventative health measures that someone should take and put them all into one place where you come do one thing with us and we'll tell you all the other things you should go and do. And like the analogy I use is, if me and you went to Disneyland and we were sick, we wouldn't care about Disneyland. We care about being sick. Like, so, but sickness, we treat everything else. Like if you went to buy a house, and it's a great analogy, you went to buy a house, you get your house surveyed, right?
100,000,000%.
Why are you not surveying your body?
Don't care until we're sick.
Exactly. Yeah. And all I'm saying is we can survey your body and give you all the things that you need to know, and then we can make it better for you. And all you have to do is just come. Just come, give us back our test that we've given you, and then what we're building into is that we're not just going to give you an IV, even though that's a great part of it. We're going to give you all these other bits. We might refer you to a fitness partner. We might refer you to X.
Okay, so you can do the whole
whole lot. So the bit that we're invested in, and the bit that makes my job really hard, is how our AI and our algorithm operates about what you put in, its input, and what you put out. At the moment, with 13 different nutrients, we have 26,000 different IVs available. Yeah, and that is going to it keeps me up at night, because they all have to be checked. We think about them all. We have to align them to make sure they're right therapy. And that only grows because we're looking to put more inputs in, and more and more and more. And as that grows, it just means, though, and I get really energetic about it, and I'm getting all pumped up, and I get like, rah, because like it's such a better way to look at your health, to say, I'm instead of getting poorly, I'm just going to stay healthy. That's my plan, is I'm just going to be a healthier human.
So all right, I go to do the genetics test.
Yeah.
How long would that take? What's the process?
Genetics test, I will be honest, like genetics test it's not like it's not fast. But then also, like on the flip side of that, you don't want it to be fast.
How long does it take to come back?
6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, I think.
6 to 8 weeks, I've got my full genetics. But do you know what it is?
Yeah.
If you wait 8 weeks for a genetic test, regardless of something that you've never had, this is now going to put us in a position to have our IVs that are right for our body. Right?
Yeah. So you get a precision IV, which is made for you. So then we take all that medical data, we look at the key indications. So we have loads of doctors that give us like, these are the main points you look at, and then we go and make an IV for you. And that's specifically to you. No one else can get it. It's for you. But the reason it's for you is because it's for your genetics, it's for your genes. And then that's how we keep it, like how we get it so close. So we can give you precision supplements, but they work together with the IV. But then we're going to build into more stuff, more therapy.
And how regularly do I have to have these IVs?
Brother, you can't ask me. I don't know. Yeah, I do. It's every 4 to 6 weeks. I know that because we've got a very good medical team that aren't staring at me right now. We've got a very good medical team that will keeps it straight. Yeah.
So 4 to 6 weeks. Do they come to me? Do I go to them?
So it depends. Like, obviously you're having a concierge today. I personally, whenever I do my concierge service, because so I'm needle phobic, which we found out today, and I know about myself. But these are so impactful for my life that even though I hate needles, I still do them. So I do a concierge. I have it at home. And you can have that done. Come in clinic. We've got some lovely clinics. Sit down, have a drink, like bring some friends. It's nice. It's something you should do. Like, and as we lean into more like people doing run clubs and people doing like fitness events and people like going at high rocks, this is the other part of like, okay, going to be really super fit is great. And like, I love that. But like a really fast car or like a really high performing athlete, you're only as good as the fuel and the nutrition that you put in. I've got a really fast sports bike, really fast, and it terrifies me. If I go and put diesel in it, it's not going to be a very good sports bike. So you need to know about the information that's going in to make sure that you get a better outcome. Like, and that's what we look at, right? And that's what we're testing, and I'm sure we've got lots of medical stuff around it. It's like, what performance can we not just, like, we can make a healthy person really healthy, or we can make a not so healthy person better. And both of them, for me, are great outcomes. That's where we are.
What's the big plan for Revive, do you think?
So to create like a group of outcomes that someone who's looking to be healthier can get from one place and say, I'm going to come to Revive, I'm going to learn about myself, and then I'm going to action all that stuff. That's for Revive. For me, where I'm looking at this is that our technology and the things that we underpin is I want it to be the smartest and most advanced preventative healthcare system in the world. And I want it to be able to say, I want to be able to measure one person's outcome to say that I've extended your life, or if I've extended the quality of your life, I have made you better. And I don't want them to know that it was me. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is the infrastructure and the architecture and the things that I've built and the things that I've been part of and the team that I've done has done something great for someone without being thanked for it. That's what I want, is like, you are better now. And but that's the hard bit, right? Because I need to make you, I need to get that in early, and I want to be able to measure that, and I want to be able to go to the measurement of it's the hard bit. But our technology is already in the healthcare space. We are leaps and bounds around competition. And that's because we invest so heavily into it. We led the IV space for the last 12 years. We're the largest IV company in the world. And now we're turning into the largest preventive health company in the world.
Which is amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. Like,
with your story, this is like, I don't even know how to put this. This is like the brand and you went together like this.
It's ridiculous.
King of the Lost and Revive was meant to
I
be.
love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. No, I love it.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually crazy when you think about it, because now we're selling time. I've lost time.
Exactly.
Back to you. Let's talk about therapy briefly.
Yeah.
Unapologetically in therapy now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. Like,
you said it's lifelong.
Lifelong. I'm never coming out of that. No, and I appreciate bringing it up. Like, I am never going to come out of therapy. I'm in therapy every week, and I'm never coming out. Like, you can't do the things that have happened to me for so long. 15 years of bad things, and like mainly bad things. Like, so the way I experience people and the way I talk about people is, you are a set of decisions, regardless of anything else. Close your eyes to everything else. You are a set of decisions sat on top of each other, and you're a set of things that have happened to you sat on top of each other. Things you've either decided to do yourself, that you're either proud of or you're ashamed of, things that are either bad things or good things that have happened to you. And you can kind of boil it down to that. 15 years of really bad things happening to me, pretty much consistently, as basically, like, I'm a good person, but there's parts of me that are bad. And I'm very aware of that, and I just keep them away from everyone. I just this is a part of me that is bad, and I'm aware of it. So being in therapy for me is like the same as like an athlete being in physiotherapy. The main thing I stretch and manipulate and move and pressure and pump every day is my mind, and I have to do that because I'm trying to progress technology that doesn't exist. It's not there. So to be there, I have to be very present with myself. And to be present with yourself, you have to be able to call yourself out on your lies and call yourself out. Yeah, you have to be ready to be like, these parts of me, and it goes back to being lost. These parts of me are lost, so allow them to be. Because if you spend too much energy and too much effort trying to pretend that you're okay on things when you're not, you're taking away from the actual objective of what you're trying to do, which is be better. So I'm really aware I'm not coming out of therapy, and I take so much power from that. Like, you wouldn't come straight out of a boxing match, or you wouldn't come straight off a track and then just get in your car. You wouldn't come straight out of a swimming lesson. You don't do them things, and then we look at our mind like our mind isn't more powerful than your whole of your body. So it's like, yeah, stay in therapy, but
100%.
Yeah, be there for yourself and be dependable on yourself for these things. Like, don't think, because it's in my head, I can move away from it. It doesn't mean I walk around sad. I don't really walk around sad. I walk around mad. Walk around like I'm set, like I've talked about it before, like I'm covered in petrol. So, but that makes me, when I'm in work and I'm doing my things that I need to do and I'm pushing myself, it means that I need to make sure that I'm maintaining a certain distance from myself to make sure that the environment that I project for other people, especially being in the army and stuff, I need to make sure other people feel psychologically safe. So yeah, it's therapy for the rest of my life, yeah.
And I think that's the perfect way to close that, with everyone being told, please do tap into therapy. Yeah. It's not, do you know what it is? I always champion it because I think it's something that's being seen as a taboo, and us as men need to find ways to open up and talk about 100%. Feelings. You know what I mean?
100%. So there's one other thing that I'd love you to ask me, and you'll love the answer. What would be your advice to young men is the question.
We was getting it. Stop stealing my question.
Oh, boy, to present it.
But we can anyway.
Okay, nice.
What would be your one piece of advice?
Cut down a tree.
Explain that.
my advice to men, if I had time to have a secondary business, if I had time, this would be this is what I'd do. I would teach young men, because I can't speak for women because that's what I'm, would be cut down a tree. Because there's three things you need to cut down a tree. You need a tree, you need an axe, you need yourself. And when you realize cutting down a tree is you're all three of the things. You are both the tree, the axe, and you're the lumberjack. Cutting it down tells you more about yourself than anything else, because it takes consistency to create value. You can't cut down a tree in one swing, and no one will ever tell you you can. You will have to sharpen your axe, and you have to be able to be there and continue to do it regardless if it's raining, if it's hot, if you're sad. And you also have to motivate yourself. And you can only make something good out of a tree until it's fallen down. A half cut down tree is useless to everyone. So go pick a tree, whether that's I want to be a really good business mentor, or I want to be a really good entrepreneur, or I want to be a really good friend, or I want to be a really good dad. And say, this is the tree that I'm going to cut down, and I'm going to get value from it before I move on to another tree, before I go swing my axe at another tree. And you're going to do it till your hands bleed. You're going to keep swinging at it. You're going to keep swinging at it. And it's going to tell you if maybe that's a bad part of yourself that you need to cut out of your life. You've got to keep hitting it. If it's a good part that you want to get value from, you've got to keep hitting it, and you've got to show up. So if I could start another business, and my advice to a young man is go cut down a tree and just keep doing that.
And that was the gem of all gems.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right, I'm going to, real quick, because we're short for time, real quick, I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions.
Hit me.
Right? Morning workout or late night brainstorm?
Late night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't sleep.
A value you live by now?
You're only, how you do anything is how you do everything. Be when no one's looking. That's who you are.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think about it a lot.
One lesson from therapy that surprised you?
I'm half the man I thought I was.
Explain that.
Therapy teaches me more about the bits of me that I thought were okay that aren't, and being that strives for me to be better. And therapy allows me to have an environment where I can reflect. I use therapy as a way to meditate in reflection about my actions and my decisions and the impact that has on other people. Therapy taught me that.
And a book, quote, or idea that's always stuck with you?
Once you lose everything, you're free to do anything.
You believe that?
I do, because I can play a game where I'm willing to lose. I'm willing to go deeper into the water, and to be able to lose everything doesn't mean you have to physically lose everything. You have to be willing to cut everything away from yourself to be able to say that this is who I am, and this is where I want to be. And that's to like a bad behavior, a good behavior, ego, like greed. And I've lost everything so far upon is that I'm so willing to play Russian roulette with anyone else, because I'm like, I know how deep that water goes, and I'm not scared of it, which means I'm always playing to win, which means I'm really hard to beat when it comes to work, because everything's up for grabs. But the thing with when it goes competitively against another entrepreneur is I'll go all the way back to the streets. This is all.
I've been in dark places.
I stole sandwiches, brother.
Really appreciate Thank you so much.
No worries.
If you've made it this far, thank you. At GHH, we're here to open up the conversations most men were never taught to have. If this episode made you reflect, drop us a comment, share it on your socials, and subscribe. We drop new episodes every other week. And if you have a story to tell and want to be a guest on the GHH podcast, send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Take care of yourself and look out for each other. This episode of the GHH podcast is brought to you by My Workplace Wellness, helping UK businesses take better care of their people. From stress management and preventative health checks to on-site massage, yoga, and wellness workshops, they make support affordable, practical, and tailored for real working lives. If your company's not investing in well-being yet, this is your sign to start. Want to check them out? All the details are in the description below.